It is only by living on a spiritual basis that our lives will truly change long term for the better. When we rely absolutely on our higher power, we feel safe to take the steps with integrity. Facing our past, making restitution and coming clean matures us like no other method we have found. This is where we become adults in space and time. We coexist with our fellows as equals. We are all family in this big, beautiful world of ours. Having committed ourselves to go to any lengths to have a spiritual life, making amends cleans out the pathway for the sunlight of the Spirit to shine through. We're going to start with the Serenity Prayer, and then we'll go into the daily reflections. If you or someone you know are questioning yourselves about whether or not you're an alcoholic or whether they are an alcoholic or drug addict, reach out. We can help you. You don't have to do it alone. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Grant me patience with the struggles that take time, and appreciation for all that I have, tolerance of those with different struggles, and the strength to get up and try again, one day at a time. September 23rd. I was an exception. He, Bill W., said to me, gently and simply, "Do you think that you are one of us?" Alcoholics Anonymous, page 413, 3rd edition. During my drinking life, I was convinced I was an exception. I thought I was beyond petty requirements and had the right to be excused. I never realized that the dark counterbalance of my attitude was the constant feeling that I did not belong. At first in Alcoholics Anonymous, I identified with others only as an alcoholic. What a wonderful awakening for me it has been to realize that, if human beings were doing the best they could, then so was I. All of the pains, confusions, and joys they feel are not exceptional, but part of my life, just as much as anybody's. Relating to the stories we hear in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting provides us with a peculiar comfort, assuring us that we are not alone in our confusion. We once believed ourselves to be uniquely afflicted by our thoughts and undefined insanity, preventing us from seeking help. We had never experienced a sense of belonging before. Connecting with others who identify as alcoholics unexpectedly opened the door to genuine sobriety. It was the last thing we would have admitted, but after quietly listening in meetings, we had to acknowledge that those sober individuals were recounting our own experiences. We wondered how they seemed to know us so intimately. This revelation clarified so much for us. While it was initially devastating to accept complete abstinence, as we began our journey through the steps, the grip of alcohol obsession gradually weakened. They wished us a slow and steady recovery when we longed for instant sanity. We proudly embrace the role of champions for sobriety, following the program as outlined in the Big Book. We apply the principles of the steps to our lives, not with the intention of recruiting or promoting the program, but simply by living as sober and giving individuals. This naturally attracts those who are seeking a solution. Our past, filled with both magical and tragic thinking, has been replaced by a more optimistic outlook on today and tomorrow. We used to see ourselves as heroes in every situation, believing we possessed magical powers that shielded us from the consequences of our unhealthy lifestyles. These supposed superpowers were part of our delusion. We were ordinary alcoholics, much like many other unfortunate souls. Through working the steps and accepting ourselves as we are, we humbly acknowledge that we are no better and no worse than anyone else. We have found our proper place and are content with it. Being sober entails more than mere abstinence from alcohol. It signifies a new way of thinking and behaving, a fresh attitude toward life. The central fact of our lives today is the absolute certainty that our Creator has entered into our hearts and lives in a way which is indeed miraculous. He has commenced to accomplish those things for us which we could never do by ourselves. We have a common illness, alcoholism, and we have a common solution, the spiritual awakening accomplished by applying the steps in our lives on the daily. September 23rd. I was an exception. He, Bill W., said to me, gently and simply, "Do you think that you are one of us?" Alcoholics Anonymous, page 413, 3rd edition. During my drinking life, I was convinced I was an exception. I thought I was beyond petty requirements and had the right to be excused. I never realized that the dark counterbalance of my attitude was the constant feeling that I did not belong. At first in Alcoholics Anonymous, I identified with others only as an alcoholic. What a wonderful awakening for me it has been to realize that, if human beings were doing the best they could, then so was I. All of the pains, confusions, and joys they feel are not exceptional, but part of my life, just as much as anybody's. Please subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching.